down.
Yeah.
It's definitely the similar experience. And I feel like people see the now and people seen the journey and they seen the highlight reels, especially, oh, when you put the pictures up in Runyon Canyon and I got my back there and just all that. I lived in Hollywood. I lived Hollywood and Highland. And it's just
Right.
like all these buzzwords, but nobody knew how freaking sick and depressed I was. Nobody was
Ooh.
there when I didn't know how to pay my rent. Nobody that was there when my car note was 3 months behind. Like nobody understood. But during those moments, like you're saying, my relationship one with myself got better because I didn't realize how much of a people pleaser I was. I didn't realize how many stories I attached myself to. How many stories I attached myself to. And so I totally resonate with the fact that it's like God gave us both a preview of where we were going. And of course, in our heart of hearts, we knew we were those people, but we just had to be stripped to be those people, to serve the people correctly, so that when they come to us vulnerable, we are able to talk to them in a way that they can understand and not hurt them any further. Like I feel like you and I were, growing up. And
Yes.
so that's what I had to learn. I had to learn how to communicate effectively. It's not that what I was saying wasn't true or, I had ill intent. It was just my delivery on a lot of stuff that got me into a lot of trouble. So God really
Mhm.
had to work on me with my delivery, just myself. I really didn't have as much confidence in myself. I didn't believe in myself like I believe in myself now.
No. Yeah.
I just really honestly didn't feel worthy enough. And definitely through my relationship with God, definitely through therapy that really has opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like my therapist, she was just like, but why does that matter? And I'm like, you're right, sis. Why does it matter? Because she was like, you're doing this, and that. And it's just like it's something when somebody has an impartial view of you and they don't know all the stories that everybody else knows and they can I feel like sometimes people who have grown up with you can kind of paralyze you because they want you to be the bad person. They want to keep you in that small
Oh
space.
my
And it's like
goodness.
I've evolved, I've grown. And please forgive me. I'm not ashamed to say I'm sorry. I'm not ashamed to acknowledge that this moment might have affected you and let's move on and let's move forward. And not in a way that I'm dismissing your feelings, but I don't want to stay stuck. I don't want to stay in the same position where you're boxing me in. I just want to show love and I want to see people win, and that's
Right.
it. And so that's been the idea. I want to help women to see themselves the way God sees them, and God had to show me how He sees me first, and so I
Yeah.
resonate with that.
That's so good. I didn't know we related like that so much. Everything you said, I'm like, me, yes, yes. Oh my God. It's crazy because I think I still, I have not arrived to where the person I feel like God is calling me to be. Definitely not. I'm always going to be progressing. This is a journey. This is a marathon, not a race, right? But I had that battle. I had that battle with myself, but also physically with people of trying to tell me because of what I did or how I spoke or how I moved in the past. Maybe I hurt a lot of people. I was not a good person. I'll be the first person to tell you I was a bully. I was mean. I knew how to, I always say now I'm a speaker. Right? I speak, right? I speak life. I used to know how to speak damage on
Me
people.
too.
Don't cross me.
Oh,
Don't cross me. 'Cause
oh
what?
my God. I wasn't moving enough. It was like,
Let me tell you, I was about that life. I was about that. I was in these streets. I had the mouth on me. I had the walk on me, and I was cutting up. And I know in that process, I did hurt a lot of people. And for me, I'm not afraid anymore to face it. I'm not afraid to speak my truth because I think that God gets honor in it because literally, if you're around me, if you know me now, I'm not that person. I don't even have to. I think I tried to explain it so much. I tried to like fight, and that's the thing. That's literally one of the words I feel like God was on me with, like, stop fighting. You don't have to fight. I literally been fighting I want to say since I was a young girl. I moved to the projects when I was very young, and fighting was something that like was common. Like you walk up the street, people are fighting. Dogs is fighting dogs. Like just it's just a fighting mentality. Everybody's fighting to survive. It's just like a fight. And I feel like when my family moved there, we had to kind of fight to prove that we could, we could just even stand in conversation with people because people didn't know us, right? Kind of came into their community. And one of the things I struggled with was stop fighting. Like I just was just like, you know what, God, I know you're there, but let me just handle this because I'm in the physical. Let me just, I could do it real quick. But like, man, he worked on me with that. Like, you gotta stop fighting. Cause really I wasn't even fighting anybody but myself. That's really what it was. I was fighting myself. And until I kind of put a mirror to my face and was real with me, what I wanted and who I was to my core, like, yo, that fight was in me. It was in me.
I was going to say, I think the difference, and this will kind of segue into my story, is like, I think a lot of us don't realize how much we're in survivor mode. And just like how you said, you were in survivor mode since childhood. And so that's all we know. And that's our default setting. And so we don't know how to live.
Yes.
And so that's where I am. I'm in the position of living now. And so I'm not surviving. I'm not thriving to be anything that I'm not. I told you my word for the year is flow. I'm only doing things that flow, that are natural, and I don't have to force it. I don't want to force relationships. I don't want to force opportunities. I just want everything to flow naturally because now I know who I am at my um, living state. I know who I am at my default setting. And before the world told me who I was, what my expectations of myself became, what my family expected, what my religious beliefs expected, I know who I am at the core. And I think that was the process of being stripped. To be like, no, this is who you are. This is what you were born to do. This is who I say you are, especially when my relationship with God got better. And through that, that's how my whole business came about, especially the part of the journals. So I do have a journal company called On Purpose Journals, and we we encourage you to to work on your mental health, and that's through journaling because that was a part of my story. So throughout that whole process, and starting in 2014, I started journaling my journey because I just thought it would be cool, but I didn't know that in those so much was coming out of that. I was being able to work out my anxiety and depression before I even knew it. I was writing letters to God. I was rewriting my story. I was manifesting things. It was just so many things that happened on those pages. That literally changed my life. And so that's been my life's work, to always let people know that your mental health is important. You're not crazy. And I, at that point, didn't have anybody to talk to. I was the strong friend. So that was my outlet to be able to be real with myself. I found myself. I was able to encourage myself. Like one time I remember I wrote myself a journal entry and I was like, yo, you are a badass. Like you moved to California
What?
by yourself.
What? You know
You
what?
in your own place. You got a brand new car on your own. You not depending on no man. You're not trying to go this route or scheme or steal or rob or do anything scandalous. You are standing up. I just really had to pour into myself and say, you know what, you survived 100% of everything that you've been through, and you're going to keep surviving. So be proud of that. And so through those things, it just built that confidence in me. Everything that people said about me is just like, that's your perspective. You're trying to deflect all the stuff that you need to work on me. And I was taking it at first. I can admit that I was taking it. But now in this new season of my life, I'm not. I cannot attach myself to people's work. And so I always encourage people to do the work for themselves. I journaled for the last 5 years before I got to be able to afford therapy. So it's really, I understand. I've been broke. Okay, so I understand that. being having access to therapy. But I'm telling you, if you seek yourself and seek like the relationship, especially with God, all the answers are already inside of you. All your opportunities are inside of you. Everything that you're called to do will be birthed in those moments. And so, like Keisha said, it takes time. And you see in kind of like the start of the end result of our journey, where it's like, okay, now we're in self actualization. Both of us are living now. And so now it's like, oh, those queens are confident. But no, thank God he stripped us in the dark and didn't do it publicly. So we are confident enough to tell the story with confidence, but we didn't have to get shown and stripped like some of these celebrities in these business owners. I'm so
Listen,
glad.
I would have been on the shade room every day. Like, this girl is crazy and mean.
Yeah, so that's why I thank God for that every day. But through my company now, I've been able to not only sell journals and encourage people to journal and encourage people to rewrite their stories, but we also help people, especially women, create passive income. It's so many books, it's so many journals, it's so many creative opportunities that I don't think women take enough, and they don't believe in themselves enough. And so I've created a community of women that just does that. And so that was the idea behind this. It's like we are so much better together, and we will learn from each other's stories. And so we have to stop being afraid to share our stories. We have to heal so we are able to tell them. So, we when we tell them it's somebody, it's still a raw sore. It's like, I'm ready to fight you. I'm going back into survival mode. And
Right.
so it's like being able to heal from that so then you can help your next sister and then build up and build up and build up. And I just truly believe when we're all operating on purpose, we're going to heal the world. It's too many of us not operating in on purpose. And so we're in survival mode. We're in survival mode and we just want to fight and just get through. And we follow the checklist that society has put on us. And that's not the truth. And a lot of people are starting to see that for themselves, that they can go into business for themselves. They can have a side hustle for themselves. It's just, I love it. I love that people are starting to see their authentic selves more and more every single day. And we start by doing this. We tell our stories. It's not easy. I keep telling people it's not easy
Woo.
to get to this position. Everyone's, oh, I love your heart. I love that you do this. But baby, you don't know. You got to pay the cost for everything. And I paid my cost. So when you see me winning, no, I paid. I paid to win.
Okay. Right. Listen, I want to just add to that part because I feel like a lot of people see me on social media, and I'm a makeup artist. I know how to put stuff together. I'm also just, I feel like for me, my one of my fights was just being plus size and letting people know like I am plus size, but I'm going to wear my size. Like I'm going to look good. I'm going to look put together. That is not going to stop me. I'm also 6'1", so I'm tall. So I always just had this thing of like, I don't care how you perceive me. I'm going to put myself together, right? And there was a time period where I couldn't afford to do my hair and my nails and buy clothes, just those things that kind of at one point were like my identity, right? And that being stripped from me now, I don't care as much for things. I'll get ready and things like that, but it's not. I don't need it. It doesn't. It's not my identity. It's not that. I'm not seeking any validation for it anymore the way I was. But just to say this, because I think social media, especially Instagram, and I'm so glad we have other outlets now like TikTok and Clubhouse where you can really just get to know people for who they are. You can see the images, but like, what are you saying? Like, what is the fruit of your tree, right? I think a lot of people see my social media and the pictures and the traveling while, because I am full-time entrepreneur, right? And they see this thing and they're like, oh, well, how can I get it? How can I, or just kind of like cheering me on. And I'm like, yo, guys, I would not, if I knew that everything I would have gone through, I don't know if I would have chose this. Right. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I was obedient to God and all the stuff. But it really is not easy. Like, they tell you something's going to take 5 to 7 years. That's 5 to 7 years of ups and downs and twists and turns, and I don't know where and I don't know who. How am I going to pay my cell phone bill? My gas is off. I've been through a lot. And for me, I enjoy being transparent. And I think that's why, people, I have a following like I do, because I'm always going to be transparent, regardless of how many sunny days you'll see on my posts. I try to keep a balance so that they can see, like, listen, the bad is going to come, but it's important. What is your character when it does? Like, what are you doing in the time that it's there? Like, how are you cultivating? How are you staying right with yourself and right with God? Like, it's just, I think sometimes people get so caught up in like the nice things and the material things, but those things don't matter at the end of the day. They're not important. They're not important. They don't matter. When you leave this earth, they're not going to matter. Literally, you can't do anything with those things. So focusing on the things you can't see, like love and being kind and giving, those are things you can't see them physically. I can't see them with my bare eyes, right? But the feeling is it's like it's unseen, but it matters at the end of the day. Like when you die and people are speaking about you, they're going to remember, dang, yo, I remember when Keisha gave me this, or I remember this. Like those things are going to last way longer than any material thing, anything. So sorry, girl. I went on a
I
little.
love it. I love this real and raw conversation. And I think this was a great way for people to kind of get to know us and our personalities and our stories and figure out where our heart for this came about. And it's just super important. So, one last question before we wrap it up. Um, what is your biggest advice for the women as they come into this 31 days? What is your go to advice?
Change your mindset. That's my advice. You have to believe, regardless of, this is go back to what's unseen, is the regardless of what you see, tell me what you believe. Before you tell me I don't got enough money, how am I gonna continue this business? Girl, I've been struggling, I'm not getting sales. Okay, that's fine. That's what we can see. But what do you believe? Do you believe that you can get 1,500 in a day? Write it down. Do you believe that you can grow your following and grow your email list and literally become a full-time entrepreneur? Okay, write it down and speak it. Speak it to people who you know are going to take care of what you believe. Don't speak it to somebody who's going to be just throwing rocks all over your little situation, child, because that will kill it. This is a newborn baby, right? And it's in the ICU. So only the parents can come in and touch the baby, and they have to have certain clothing on them. So what do you believe? And I need you to focus on whatever it is that you're believing more than what you see. And that's my advice on this entire month. We're doing all this stuff and this is cool, but what do you believe in? And you better be saying, the answer better be you and yourself. You know what I'm saying? In the dream and the goals, man. That's what I would say. What's your response? I want to hear what you got to say.
So I was just thinking, heal, girl, heal. Just heal. Take some time to heal yourself, and take some time for yourself. Let your other sisters love up on you during this time. Ask for help. Come share your story. Be vulnerable. Be transparent. And just heal. Allow yourself to be loved on. Like we talked about this offline, where it's like, Keisha, you're always giving. Allow me to give to you. Be in the receiving end of things. Be in the receiving. And
Markitta, that is fat. I just want to say this because yesterday I went out with my friends. This is the last hoorah for my birthday month. I'm extra Keisha, right? My friend she already gifted me something. Like she gifted me her presence during my event to be a speaker. She's not comfortable with that. It was Valentine's Day weekend. She was with her man, like from out of town. So I knew that was the gift. I was like, thank you for doing this. I was so grateful. And I was adamant about telling her, like, this is my birthday gift. I appreciate you so much. You didn't have to do this. And she got me a gift. And it was hard for me to receive it, to the point where we're at the bar and the bartender's like, girl, just say thank you. Just say thank you and receive it. Like she got into the, and I was like, you're right. Like, and I just talked to Markitta about this and I was like, okay, God, let me just receive it. But in my mind, it was like, no, you already gave me something. That's enough. Like, like, what do I, like, it's just this, I don't know where this feeling comes from. As much as I like to give, the receiving is difficult. So yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, so it's just like heal. I just want everybody to heal and know that the process will be the process. Nothing is wasted. Everything will be utilized at its given moment. And just take the advice of every woman that we're going to interview and just our personal stories, and take that and apply it to your life. You don't have to apply everything, but just whatever feels right for you.
Mhm.
We're here to serve. We're here in gratitude, and we're healing still because it's an
Yes.
everlasting journey. But we're just so excited that we get to lead you on this journey. So that's what I got. I'm so excited. I'm still like thrilled. I did taught a class today. Like I don't even know how I have this much energy, but it's
Right.
really giving. I love women, and I'm ready to see y'all win. Look,
Yes.
because
Oh,
we where the money resides. Oh, 2021.
I love Marquita's energy, y'all. We
All
are
right.
just
Oh,
excited.
Keisha, you gotta take us out with the sound effect.
Oh wait, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Because wait, I gotta get it on the screen. How do I do this? Hold on.
Oh no.
Can you see me on the screen still right now?
Yeah, we can still see you.
Okay, hold up. I'm gonna pull it up. Let me cue. You can still see me still, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is our official sound effect. Boom, boom, boom. You guys love you.
So make sure that you follow me on Instagram at I am Markitta G and Markitta in your business. You can
Yeah.
follow Keisha at
Yes, follow me at Keisha.Jean-Louis on Instagram and at QueenKnow and shopqueensknow.com.
awesome. So we'll be back for another episode. Thank you guys so much. This is fun. This is so cute.
I love this.
Bye.
All right. Do I press